Hi, this is Ron Davis. On behalf of the National Burglar and Fire Alarm Association, we're pleased to welcome Tom Binish, A&A Security, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Welcome to the program, Tom.
Hello,
Glad
Ron.
to have you here.
Thank you.
How long have you been in the business, Tom?
I've been in the business since '74.
Golly, that's almost 30 years?
That's a long time, yeah.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
And, you know, people wonder when I tell them I know somebody from Green Bay. Is there a security issue up there? I mean, did you have trouble starting a business and building a business in Green Bay, Wisconsin?
Residential alarm systems are, as you can imagine, aren't the hot ticket in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
The bulk of our business is commercial, industrial.
Now, as you look at the business today and you see the trends that have emerged in the industry, what is your take on integration as a part of an alarm company's business?
Integration has been an area of the business that's been developing for so many years, and you know the neat thing about it is the changes. I mean, it's not something that just morphs and it's there. It's something that's in a constant state of development and change. What was integration 2 years ago isn't the same today.
When you think about alarm dealers who have become integrators versus integrators who have become alarm dealers, which of the two disciplines do you think lends itself towards the other in a business?
Quite honestly, Ron, I think it's easier for alarm dealers to become integrators than it is for integrators to become alarm dealers. And the reason I say that is because of the competitive nature of the alarm business, most integrators find that it's not a very attractive field to enter into.
What I've seen is that alarm dealers have difficulty sometimes in understanding the margins on integration. Have you seen that? Has that been any kind of an issue? Do you think that's a fair statement?
I think it's a fair statement, but it also has to be measured against what that alarm dealer is actually doing and what they're getting into.
For example?
The smart ones will, if they want to start bidding on public integrated systems such as an access control, a video, coupled with a fire system on a municipal building, the smart ones are going to start with the smaller jobs.
Okay, so
don't get in over your head.
You can go too large and actually price and bid yourself out of business.
Well, what they're going to find is that they can't support what it takes to do the larger jobs.
Why not?
There's number one is money. Available free cash is obviously a hurt. I mean, if your first job is a $500,000 fire alarm system, you know, in multiple high-rise buildings, you find yourself having to shell out $300,000 for product, all right, before you even send a technician to the site. That is going to create some problems for a $1 million size company.
So the end result then of what you're saying is know what your limitations are, if your financial limitations, if you're going to go into the integration portion of the industry that we're in.
Correct.
Is that a fair statement?
That's correct.
Cool. Tell me about the alarm business. How did you start in that? What made you form A&A?
My former life in the 70s was with one of the large nationals, the large red S, if you will. My history comes from that industry.
Okay.
That's where my background and my training came from. When I formed A&A in 1980, that progression for me was pretty normal, was to stay in the integration side of it, primarily with fire and time and attendance systems in those days. Card access and video obviously weren't real strong. The alarm side, when we did start this business, it became apparent that the value was in monitoring. And along with that came the alarm sales, fire alarm monitoring, and we began to grow that at that time.
And are service contracts a significant portion of your business?
Yes, they are. They account for about 9% of our gross revenue.
It's recurring monthly revenue,
It's recurring
right?
revenue.
Got it. If I were to ask you, and I will, what the single biggest hurdle you had to overcome in running your own business as opposed to being employed in a large company, what was that hurdle?
Well, it started the same hurdle that we had in 1980 when we started the company is the same one we have today. It's the struggle of maintaining your workforce, your private little group of people that believe in not only what they're doing, but they have to believe in you as the owner. They have to believe in themselves as that person. Now, the difficult thing is knowing when to pull the plug on a person and move them off into a different field and, replace them.
We tend to see the world as we see ourselves is very true when you wind up running a company.
It is.
When you look into the future, your crystal ball, where do you see your business in the next 5 years or so?
We're beginning to transition slightly into markets that we hadn't been in prior. We're seeing larger contracts, more stable contracts, and believe it or not, the environmental controls area. And they tie in directly with what we're currently doing. We're attempting to piggyback environmental controls on our fire alarm data circuits. I think as we move into this next 5-year session, I think we're going to find that our industry as it exists right now is going to start moving a little bit more into that data, the network areas, including the environment, and bringing some control from those areas back onto our platforms.
Excellent. So if you had one piece of advice you could pass on to somebody just getting started in the industry, what do you think that would be?
I would definitely suggest getting into a mentorship program. That can be done through dealer organizations, through dealer groups. But mentoring is probably the easiest way to avoid some of the mistakes that are so easy to make.
And when you say mentoring, are you talking the whole concept of networking and discussing ideas and problems and opportunities with peers and even direct competitors?
Yeah, that's true. It actually goes beyond that also, and I think even to the point where someone entering a company new, I have in Wisconsin, I have one small business owner that calls me routinely, asking me questions. He's, and I don't have any problem with helping him develop his business. I think it's important that for us that have been in the business for a while, it's so important for us to attempt to bring people along, okay, get them to the next step, just for the business, just for our industry, to help it grow.
We've been talking with Tom Binish, and Tom, we want to thank you for being with us during this recording and sharing your thoughts with other NBFAA members. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.